Med City movie guy. He's everywhere you want him to be.
So you want to be in love like the movies, but in the movies they're not in love at all.
News Talk 1340 KROC-AM.
They're just saying their lines.
Thank you, David Brothers. It's time to bring in the Med City movie guy, Chris McSannick, this morning.
Thanks for bringing me in. I was getting wet standing out there in the rain.
Well, fortunately, we got an overhang where you didn't have to stand in the rain.
That's true. But I did have to wait for somebody to buzz me in, and we were all laughing and pointing. And
that was good.
In the winter, it's not.
Is it coming down pretty good now?
No, it started, though. It started.
Yeah, it's raining.
It started.
All right. Well, let's talk about the movies.
Sure.
As, I mentioned early this morning that it's Robin Williams' birthday today. He would have been 66.
Yeah. So Robin, of course, everybody likes.
Is it almost 2 years since his death?
It doesn't seem like that long ago, and it was amazing. It was so shocking, and again, it's just a reminder that even people who look like they're the happiest people, they could be, wrestling with a lot of things, and if you're one of them, talk to somebody.
And the lead singer from Linkin Park.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost an epidemic. But for somebody, especially a comedian, who you think is always happy, it was especially shocking. But so in addition to his comedy, obviously things like Mork and Mindy and stand-up, he's got a ton. He's been involved in a ton of movies. I think my list had 58.
Wow.
And yeah. And some of them are smaller roles, I'm sure, and not as...
But he was very good in dramatic roles.
He was. You know what? I was not a fan of Robin Williams' comedy, his humor.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, in everything that he had done dramatic, I'm talking, the number 1, number 2, 3, 4 of my favorites. He's been amazing. He can really draw on it, that sort of pathos, and maybe that's, I don't know. So what are some of your? Well, so I brought in a couple of my favorite Robin Williams DVDs, and.
Well, the Good Will Hunting, that as far as a dramatic role was probably my most remembered.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites.
But that and Good Morning Vietnam, which was a great movie.
Very popular. Mrs. Doubtfire was also a big one. Oh,
certainly.
Probably my favorite was either Good Will Hunting or a Dead Poets Society. Dead Poets Society, he was a teacher in like a prep school kind of thing,
and of course there was Aladdin.
Aladdin was a big one as well.
He was the genie.
He was the voice of the genie. Jumanji, that was a great movie.
Yes, it was. In fact, that was just on about a month or so ago. I just saw the tail end of it again. It was on TV, and we enjoyed that one when the kids were younger, and we went out and saw that one.
That was a neat movie, and they're remaking that one.
It can't be as good
with The Rock, and
of course everything's being remade with The Rock.
I know
he's
dangerously
before
close
he becomes president.
Dangerously close to being overexposed. So if you have a favorite Robin Williams movie, tell us about it.
282-1234. We've got a couple of them here: Good Will Hunting and Robin Williams' Moscow on the Hudson. I haven't seen that one.
Now that's a neat movie because he defects from Russia, and this is kind of at the height of the Cold War, so he's a Russian, and I think he defects in like Saks Fifth Avenue or one of the stores in New York. It's a very, very neat, very fun movie. It's one of my favorites.
Moscow on the Hudson.
Yeah,
Robin Williams
and Good Will. Yeah, those are great movies.
So what do we got?
Well, the other thing I thought we should talk about is now that the juice is on the loose.
That's right.
Maybe there's some more films in his future.
I saw where. His Screen Actors Guild pension, along with his NFL pension, pulls him in close to $300,000 a year.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the dollar amount.
There's a few other pensions that he's got going on. I don't know how accurate that seems steep, but I know his $25,000 a year from his NFL pension.
So that's what the NFL was, $25 a year. So
Right.
where's all that other money coming from then? I thought the bulk
Must
of it.
have, that's why I don't know how accurate those numbers were.
Yeah, 'cause
but,
I thought the
it
bulk
seems a
of-
little steep, but I think right now his worth is somewhere between $500,000 and $3 million.
I thought I thought most of his income was coming from the NFL pension. So, I thought they said his pension was worth like $8 million or something. His pension, but
Yeah.
they can't touch it. The Goldmans can't touch it,
No.
and creditors can't get at it. So.
Let's take a phone call here. Hi, you're on the air with the Med City Movie Guy. Turn that radio down, and you decided to hang up. Okay.
All right.
Well, anyway,
So
you could have had a movie.
So he's got O.J. Of course, maybe this is where all his money's coming from. He was in, of course, The Naked Gun.
Which was an awesome movie.
Yeah, well, guess what year that was, though, and don't cheat, but just guess, just to say how old it was.
Is it about 78?
You're 10 years off. 88. I know. I would have thought it was older.
See,
than
I was thinking 80s at first, but I thought because you asked that, I'm
I
going to
know.
go even farther. But I still was early. It would have been early 80s.
I'm a master at misdirection.
Yes.
And then there were 2 sequels: Naked Gun 2.5 and a Naked Gun 33
and a third.
and a third. That's right. And that was in '94. So that was pretty recent.
That was his last one.
Yeah, I think it.
Plus, he had a
would've-
lot of commercials he did. I mean, he
He
was
was-
a popular pitch man for Hertz, and
And his
or
one of
was
his,
it Avis? I forget. Must have been Hertz.
Nothing was Hertz.
Yeah,
Was it Hertz?
Hertz rent a car, running over. Go, OJ. Let's try the call again. Maybe he or she turned down the radio. Hello there. You're on the air.
Did you mention Birdcage for Robin Williams?
Oh, Birdcage.
Birdcage was very popular. Sure it
Yes.
was. Yeah, yeah.
Very good. Thanks for the call. By the way, if you would like one of the movies that are offering, Moscow on the Hudson or Goodwill Hunting, we had a couple of DVDs here. Call back and put your claim in. We'll give you one of them. But yeah, Birdcage.
With Gene Hackman as well.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I guess one of OJ's biggest films, Towering Inferno. Remember that way back?
Yes,
When they were doing
I forgot
disaster
he was
films?
in it. That was another Chuck Heston type of thing,
I
or
think
was
he was.
that?
Well,
no,
no,
I think he
no.
might have been.
Was he? He was like the fire chief or something. Everybody was in that because it was like Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah, I think it
Towering
was
Inferno.
an opportunity for all actors to get into some of these disaster movies, and they would play a role. Anthony Kennedy. Was it Anthony Kennedy? Anthony.
No.
What's
Kennedy.
his name?
What was his name? The big guy you're talking about.
Yeah,
Who
Kennedy.
was in airports.
Is it Joseph? No.
Oh, how could we not?
That's up to me to forget these things.
You brought it up.
No.
Yeah, because he was in everything. Cool Hand Luke. He's a very significant actor. Yeah. Anyway, the other one OJ was in, and this is lesser known, but it was kind of a famous conspiracy at the time. Capricorn 1. Do you remember the movie where they faked the moon landing? The government faked the moon landing?
No, but Kim David mentioned that one. We didn't mention the title, but yeah,
Capricorn
about the
1
fake
it's
moon,
called, yeah,
moon
yeah.
landing. Yeah. All right.
Jamie Kennedy. He was the. No, he does the.
In the Towering Inferno, you had Paul Newman,
Paul Newman was
Steve
the one.
McQueen,
No, that's it.
William Holden was in
George
Kennedy.
Kennedy. George Kennedy.
Thank you very much.
Hi-yo. Hi-yo. Hey, and there
Not
we
sure
are.
He was in the Towering Inferno, though.
Yeah.
But O.J. Simpson was Robert Vaughn, Robert Wagner,
You're
Fred
right.
Astaire, Susan Blakely,
Wait,
Richard
Fred
Chamberlain.
Astaire. Fred Astaire.
Was in it. Faye Dunaway.
Dancing down the stairs as it burned around him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so also birthday today, we should talk about John Lovett's birthday today. Did you know that?
Yeah, what is he, about 60?
I don't know. 57 was his birthday. So, yeah, 60, you're right. And my favorite John Lovett's movie, and it was a toss-up whether I was going to bring a couple of Robin Williams movies or John Lovett's movies, was a movie called Rat Race. Now, a lot of people
Never saw it.
didn't see it, but if you saw it, you know it's almost like a little cult movie. Because in some ways, Rat Race is a remake of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which I know you've seen. 'Cause anybody who's
Back
been
in the
around
60s.
a while, it's a great movie. It's a classic comedy. So there's several famous people in Rat Race, and they're all just trying to beat out each other to get to this treasure from Las Vegas to, I don't know if it was in Arizona or New Mexico,
A
something
Jerry
like that.
Zucker directed movie.
Okay. Oh, you got it in front of you.
Breckenmeyer, don't know that person. Amy Smart, Whoopi Goldberg,
Whoopi Goldberg is in it. That's right.
and
John
Lovitz.
Cleese.
Yeah.
John Lovitz. Yeah. So
Cuba Gooding Jr. was in
Cuba.
it, too.
Oh, of course
He played Owen Templeton.
He was
I'm looking at it. I never saw the movie.
Oh, it's a hysterical movie because he plays a football player he plays the referee in a football game, and he goofed up the coin toss, which seems kind of hard to goof up. And so, no.
Hey, it's happened.
No, it's a funny movie.
It's happened.
Rat Race, a great movie.
All right.
So, yeah, but anyway, back to more contemporary things. A lot going on, I think. The big one that's opening today, or probably last night, I suppose, is Dunkirk, and that seems like your kind of film, huh?
World War II, about 400,000 soldiers trapped by the Germans on a French beach with enemy pilots destroying any attempt at rescue.
It's Christopher Nolan who does a lot of these, huge types of movies. Tom Hardy, who's an actor that you might only recognize him maybe from like The Dark Knight. He was, I think he was one of the Bane.
He's one of the faces you'd probably see. Yeah, I've seen that guy before.
I think I've seen him before. He's pretty versatile. He was in one of my favorite. He was in one of my favorite movies called Lawless, and it was about the Bondurant brothers during the Prohibition era. They were making like booze up in the hillbilly mountains, and he had like a whole. Or it's a true story, based on true story. It's a whole organization up in the hills. Tom Hardy was, and it was an amazing role. Amazing, called Lawless. But anyway, so Dunkirk, I think, is going to be a big one.
Another one, I don't know how big it'll be, but Girls Trip.
Yeah, well, I think these studios do a fairly good job of trying to balance out and say, well, look, Dunkirk's going to be a big movie, but not everybody is going to be interested in that kind of movie. So what can we put?
What's totally different?
What can we put against it
for some of the younger folks
to get some of the other dollars? Yeah, and so.
Queen Latifah, Regina Hall, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Tiffany Haddish.
There you go.
Road trip to New Orleans.
Yeah. Wild night out, or several wild nights out so it could be a good ladies' night out type film. There's some good stuff out there. So I was going to also talk a little bit about the Planet of the Apes. So the third one of the reboot. It's called War for the Planet of the Apes, and personally, I think this series has kind of gone downhill. Well, first of all,
supposedly this reboot was supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah. So, but I don't think this reboot. I think they've gone downhill since the first one. So James Franco started this with Planet of the Apes in 2011, and that was an amazing film. I think they did a great job on that reboot. And then in 2014, a couple of years later, they did this Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Right. That was like the second one in reboot. I wasn't as impressed. This one's very dark. So I'm not seeing the same. And again, it depends what you're interested in. One of the things I liked about the original series, which began in 1968. Right, you're right. 1968. With Chuck Heston, of course, Planet of the Apes. That to me seemed a little more campy, and I thought they were fun. And then they got almost preposterous because then there was Beneath the Planet of the Apes. They came out. So Beneath was in 70.
Cleaning up after the Planet of the Apes. That was a good one too.
Let me write that one down.
Let's take a phone call. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi. Another good movie. Two things here. Another good movie. Robin Williams is Patch Adams.
Patch Adams.
Oh
sure,
yeah.
The doctor,
I can't remember if you mentioned that one or not.
No, we did not. Thank you. Would you like one of the Robin Williams DVDs?
I'd love one.
We got Good Will Hunting or Moscow on the Hudson.
Ooh, I'll do Good Will Hunting.
All right.
Okay, now you said there were two other.
One other thing I have to mention is you talked about Towering Inferno. That was the first date I ever went on with my now husband.
Oh,
really?
Talk about a nice romantic movie.
Is it symbolic?
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Lorraine Eischen.
Lorraine.
Yeah.
All right, Lorraine. How do you spell Lorraine?
It's Luraye.
All right, I'll just have Lorraine on there on your DVD. It'll be at the front desk, okay?
Great, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Moscow on the Hudson's still out there for Robin Williams fans. It's a fun movie. I would say Robin Williams or Yakov Smirnoff fans. And
was he in that one?
No, I don't. You know what? He might have had a tiny role. Not that you mention it, he might have had a tiny role. But he looks like Yakov Smirnoff in it. No, you know what? Doesn't he?
Don't they all?
Doesn't? Yeah, don't they all?
No, he's not mentioned in there. Alejandro Rey is.
Oh, Alejandro Rey's in there. Okay, so anyway, War of the Planet of the Apes. I'll tell you something.
Anything else to look forward to here in the weeks ahead?
Well, I was just going to say the other one worth seeing, and I had it up to here with all these superhero movies. Spider-Man: Homecoming, I wasn't excited about, but actually it's a pretty cool movie because it's not exactly an origins film, but Spider-Man's in high school and Tony Stark says Iron Man.
Yeah.
They want to recruit him, and he wants to be an Avenger. Because he doesn't want to be just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Right.
He wants the big time.
Part of the team.
Yeah, and then, at the end he decides, I think I got a good spot here. So, yeah, not tremendous stuff coming up. So the Emoji Movie is next week. Don't exactly know what to expect from that. And then we've got the master of all fiction writers, so Al Gore's An Inconvenient Sequel. That's coming out also
Really?
next week, yeah.
All right, well, we'll look forward to that, and you'll have a review on that before it comes out, I'm sure.
Oh, I've already got it in mind.
So, Chris, thanks for coming in. It's 3 minutes before 9 o'clock. He is Chris McSannick. What's the website that people get your...
MedCityMovieGuide.com.
TheMedCityMovieGuide.com.
That's all for now. Visit my friend Chris McSannick, the Med City Movie Guy, on YouTube, Facebook, and at themedcitymovieguide.com.